I'm really optimistic in life. Optimistic in a sense that I think there's a growing number of people who have a real appreciation that there is something more in life. I'm really blessed to have lots of different kind of conversations with different sorts of people, strata of people. There's parents at the school gates. There's young couples who are planning and booking their weddings. There's families putting together christening services. There's families and people coming to terms with grief in preparing for funerals. There's people, blessed people, who inhabit faith communities. And there's blessed people who live outside faith communities, formal faith communities. And all these different conversations in their many, many different ways, they all articulate a kind of sense that there is something more in life. And it's not make-believe. And it's there for all of us. And this believing and articulating something more in life has a lot to do, I think, with our kind of present situation of disorder in our cultural lives, in the way we go about living our lives in the midst of this pandemic we find ourselves in. You see, the pre-lockdown kind of days, we kind of lived our lives in a bit of a haze with so much attention on the content of our lives, on the stuff that we do, fitting everything in, getting things done, just going from day to day in a bit of a haze and not really giving attention to this something more. And then when the pandemic came, the disorder hits us hard, throws everything in the air. We're locked down. We can't even use our cars. We are limited to how we can visit our grocery stores and get our foodstuffs in. We are really, really limited in the people who we can meet and touch base with. We're not allowed even to shake hands with people. Life is thrown into a disorder. But the throwing of life into a disorder gives us opportunity to reconsider and to reevaluate. And I think that's really what has been happening for many, many people in so many different kind of ways, and people will articulate it and talk about it and be in conversation about it in so many different ways. And I know for myself, I've had a real deepening of this whole engagement and participation in this quest and discovery of something more in life. In all the challenges of this lockdown, and there have been many, but also in the blessings of this lockdown. And again, for me, there's been many in that slowing down of life and giving the opportunity for reevaluation and resetting. And from the disorder, finding a new order, what we would call, and what I would call, a reordering. And the reordering for me is really uncovering the truth that there's something more is found in the essence of who I am. And that's found in a spaciousness, a breadth of landscape that is in me and I hold within me everywhere I go. It's like a treasure. It's like yeast working in me. Jesus speaks about the kingdom of heaven, and it's in us, and it's the refinding of this and the experiencing of this, I'm finding is such a blessing during these lockdown days. And so in the most calamitous of times, there can be invitation. There can be a calling forth into something new. And that is what is happening, I believe, right in this time, both in individual lives and on the level of community life and on the level of national identity and relationship from one nation to another. This whole invitation to find something new, to find something more, to find a spaciousness, a treasure that we all hold within us, to honor the stuff of life, not to take all that content and stuff for granted, and within it all to acknowledge and appreciate this breadth of life that each of us hold. That's the bit in us that is eternal. That's the bit in us that will never end. That's the bit in us which is incorruptible. Blessings. Blessings. And so we've had this movement, a movement from the order we once knew, where there was so much to do and fit in, where there were so much attention to stuff around us, a kind of haze, and then into the disorder, and now into this period of reordering, which gives so much potential to finding something remarkably good right in our midst. Optimistic conversations which maybe happen in a haphazard kind of way every so often. Conversations when we bump into people we meet from time to time, blessed people we know really well on a day-to-day basis. Again, blessed people. Optimistic conversations. Maybe today you're going to have one or two of these kind of conversations.